No updates on the suspect from the bombing. Remains are unidentifiable. No apparent connection between the hostage and the suspect. Thanks, Henry. It's been a week, and still nothing. Jesus Christ. What did Quintus put this time? Anyone want lunch? Class is boring. Dude, aren't you at George Washington University? And Henry is saying he's already eaten, but he's hungry again. Frickin' Davish. Funny facepalm, man. Oh. Reina texted in the group chat. Don't you all have class, she says? I do, but I don't pay attention, Henry says. Stella would be disappointed, Davish said. Oh, Reina tagged me. Get off your phone and get to class day. Morning, Professor Wells. No, everything is okay. Did I look that obvious out there? Just another day. What about Professor Wood? Oh, he wants me to get back into writing. I don't write anymore. At least not for business anyway. My days as a journalist are over, sir. Rose Hayfield is the lead journalist now. I don't want anything to do with Talon or her. Especially her. No, I haven't spoken to her ever since we fell out years ago. No, I never dated her. Reina Hunter made sure of that. She can be vocal. Besides, whenever I do write, it's for my book anyway. Yeah, the thriller. I'm still working on it. It's just that I've been busy. No, of course not. Nothing bad. What? No, I haven't been getting involved with the True Eagles. Their efforts in trying to remove the administration because of the principal's abusive rules and procedures have been lackluster. They haven't made any headway. Well, I did write about them in the administration. Once. It's what got me fired from the Talon. I know, the article was never released. Yeah, I know who sent it. It was Rose Hayfield. I didn't expect to see you here. And Cassus. Nice to see you two are getting along. I don't care how long you two have been dating, Rose. Don't you two have class somewhere else? Thanks, Cassus. I feel really special. The professor is right. You two should leave. Okay, what is it that you want? Rose, you forget I'm retired. I don't write for the Talon anymore. You can keep writing all the lies you want. Well, you did tell the administration that my article I was writing was defamatory, which you know was false. Stay out of this, Cassus. You should crawl back into the lifeless hole you came out of. Well, this little man has more than just words up his sleeve. Want to see my hand? I thought so. Bye. Glad that's over with. Let's just say opinions can spread quick, like wildfire. I don't deal with it, I just ignore it. What the hell? Cassus? What the hell are you doing? Whoa! Son of a... Reina? What are you... Jesus Christ, Reina! Reina! Whoa, where are you taking me? Oh, sorry, excuse me, coming through. Reina, Jesus, you just slapped and punched Cassus down to the ground. Wait, Reina! Ow. Reina, my head, be careful. Ow. Sorry, excuse me, coming through. Okay, I'll shut up. Reina, Jesus, you just slapped and punched Cassus down to the ground. Wait, Reina! Reina. Your knuckles, it's bleeding. What do you mean, don't worry about it? You just punched a thick-skulled 200-pound man that's a foot taller than you. Ow! Sweetheart, watch out with the rubbing alcohol. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll be quiet. Hey. Ow! Okay, stop. Reina, sweetheart, baby, stop, look at me. Your hand. It's shaking. Here, let me hold them. Reina, no, it's okay, look at me. I'm okay, don't worry about my wound. Let me worry about your hands. I need you to keep them steady for me. You got this. Here, let me bandage this for you. You're doing so good, baby. Just keep your eyes on me. On me, okay? Atta girl. Look, all done. I'm proud of you. I'm okay. See? I'm okay. We're okay. Oh. Hugh and Rose paid a visit to my English class when I was talking to Professor Wells. They didn't want anything in particular. If anything, it was just to harass me. See? I'm okay. We're okay. No, I didn't talk to Rose. You know how I feel about her. What do you mean I could have avoided the situation? They didn't want anything in particular. If anything, it was just to harass me. By ignoring them. You know, when school teachers say ignore the bullies, that doesn't work out too much. They'll just keep going until you break. No, I didn't break. It takes a lot more than that to break me. What would you rather want me to do? Baby, we talked about this before. Cassus and Rose won't stop. All Rose can do is just keep writing her lies through school and be a pawn. Cassus, well, he's just Cassus. Are you saying you didn't want me to fight him? I can't fight him with words. So you're saying I do nothing. Why? Because I'm an agent. Babe, no one at this school other than you knows we're in the unit. It's a closely guarded secret. Just because I know how to fight doesn't mean I'll give away my identity. People see me as the guy that got fired from the town for writing defamatory statements about the school. For the record, it wasn't defamatory, it was the truth. It was Rose Hayfield that spread those lies, even though she insists that she didn't do anything. You told me so yourself. Okay, well, I don't know what you want me to do. You're telling me not to fight, but you literally just punched the shit out of Cassus. You're supposed to stay out of danger and let me handle it. Matter of fact, I could have handled it myself. I wasn't helpless, he just got me. Everyone sees you as the Red Angel. Yeah, the angel that saves lives, not harms them. I mean, I can do both. I do both. No, I didn't say you couldn't. I just don't want you getting hurt. What if Cassus strikes back at you? Okay. We've had this argument before. I don't want to have it again. Let me look at your hand. Yes, let me look. Okay, fine. I won't touch you then. I don't get it. You don't want me to fight. Where are you going? Babe, wait. Babe. Babe, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Now what? It's Henry. We found intelligence on the bomber from the other night. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. So I got my noodles here and a cup of milk just in case I get a little spicy. All right, guys. Today is a pretty special day. Welcome to the stream. My name is Elite ASMR, otherwise known as Daniel. You can call me either or, and I'm excited to get into this stream and just talk about, you know, the story of Agent 115 and all of this as a whole. We already have 3 viewers on. Subburger said hi. Welcome to the stream. All right. So, what were you guys' thoughts on that stream? Well, not stream, but the episode. So I've released the episode normally as an upload on my YouTube, so it's there. Go ahead and watch it again if you want to. This stream will be saved. I was kind of confused at like midway through why I was hearing double, because I was hearing the same video twice, but one of them was delayed. And I realized as I had the stream open on my web browser, and I was like, oh, it's playing audio and it's picking up the audio through my streaming. But mistakes we learn from them. We can learn from next time. So yeah, funny enough, I used to stream on my old gaming channel like 3 years ago, and I used to have like, you know, the border, the outline, all this other stuff and whatnot, and I was actually like really into it, and then I just all of a sudden I just stopped. So that's that's just like, okay, well, all right. But now here I am doing ASMR, and now finally doing live stream. Probably might not move into Twitch anytime soon, because Twitch is a super competitive like platform, and YouTube's just, for me, YouTube's just easier to get into. I'm already on the platform, and I've been working with it for a couple of years now, and it's just like, okay, it just comes as natural. So yeah, let's see. So, I've been working with OBS for a little bit, and I'm just figuring out how to do all these little cool gadgets and these widgets. So yeah, just eat my noodles real quick before they go cold. And my skills with a chopstick are quite lackluster, even though I've been doing it for a couple of years, and I still feel like I haven't been able to do it properly. So so this is ramen. I got it in like those little green packages, and I put in banana pepper, and I cut up diced onion, and I kid you not, I was legitimately crying like the whole time. And I was like, this is bad. So let's talk Agent 115, or here on YouTube known as the Secret Agent Boyfriend series, which I know a lot of you guys have really fond memories with. Yeah, noodles look nice. They really do. I spent like 5 minutes on them and it tastes great. I put Tabasco sauce in it, but yeah, I think you should. In all honesty, add some cilantro, add some seasoning, and you're set. But anyway, moving on. The uh, series, the Super Secret Agent Boyfriend series, that's it's something that I've been working on ever since I was still in high school, believe it or not. And I said in my community post that I was working on. Uh, I said in my community post that it used to be set in high school, but now it's not anymore because of writing and just like story continuations and whatnot. And funny enough, I had the idea to change it to college when I was in Poland for a small little rotation because I'm in the army and they like to send me to places. And I was like, okay, well, why not just do it college? Because originally, when the story was written in high school, it didn't make sense for all the stuff that happened to happen in high school yet. So that's why I just switched it to the college. The origin stories, I actually did have origin stories out for them. It used to be so all these characters that you see here on the screen, they're characters from the story. So from left to right, with the exception of the guy that's in the background, left to right, that's Davish with the MCX and his handgun that's out. Right next to him is me. The other guy with the M249 saw, that's Henry, and that's Quintus on the right. And then right at the very end, that's Reina Hunter, who's in her like combat uniform configuration. And the guy in the background, I won't spoil anything, but he's a pretty important antagonist. But the reason why Reina has her gear out is because that's what she looks like when she's out in combat. But because she's the chief medical specialist, she doesn't fight at all whatsoever, and she's not really supposed to. She doesn't like it. So, the more I think about it, it's like, okay, why would I want these guys to be in a high school setting when they're like not even 18 years old, running around with guns, And technically, in the origin stories, when I first wrote it, like it was that they were, running around with the guns and they're getting trained up because a little bit of lore. I added what's called first wave agents. So a lot of it's inspired by The Division, really. I got a lot of my inspiration from The Division, and those guys, basically, if you guys have played The Division from Tom Clancy, Ubisoft, you're essentially a civilian trained by a special organization called the Strategic Homeland Division, and you are only activated in case emergencies happen. The same concept applies here-ish, where these guys, they are civilians, they're trained by law enforcement, and they're like on call 24/7, right? And they're pretty much in an active duty status, unlike The Division where you have to be activated. And these guys, though, they've been trained since they were like 13, 14 years old. So it's kind of like a mix of Halo when Dr. Halsey just kidnaps them as children, and then like they're Spartans. So these guys, they've been training since they were 14. And again, back to why I mentioned The Division in the first place, The Division has waves. So I was like, okay, I'll just take the name First Wave, and I'll add that in the story. And the First Wave is essentially like the first 25 candidates of agents that director Saul Eckert, which hasn't been mentioned in this series too much, recruited like children. And he was like, yeah, you're going to work for me now. The twist is that these children, including myself, well, not myself, but Daniel in this series, he doesn't have parents. A lot of the candidates don't have parents. They don't have family. They don't have any like legal guardians, so they're just kind of like just roaming around the city, just homeless. And it's I like to think it's tragic, but the setting that the story is in, it's really grim. It's really dark, and I'm still working on ways to explore that. And so the first wave was comprised of Reina Hunter, which is the character that you guys play. It's Henry Rake, and then Davish Wayland. but not Daniel and Quintus. Estella is also part of the first wave too. She's not mentioned in the series just yet, I think. She's the chief analyst for for the unit, and I think the first wave started up, if I remember correctly, like 2017, and there was 25 of them, and then all of a sudden, spoiler alert, all of a sudden, all of them, with the exception of the characters that you see in front of you now, like just gone missing. They're either dead or they're missing. And then, number two, is the second wave. So the second wave is where Daniel and Quintus come in, and they don't show up until like a year later, which is around 2018, I think, and they're just finding out like this thing's, and then that's the same time frame that Daniel had lost his parents, and that's actually where the origin story that I first wrote for Daniel like started. So, and a lot of the writing issues that I had was just timing. Really, it was just learning where to put these guys in the world of the Agent universe, and just figuring out what works best, right? So yeah, that's I intended on writing origin stories for each of the characters, but then I was like, okay, well, wait a minute, let me just do in media res, which I think is Greek or Latin for like in progress, in the middle, and let me just write the main story, Agent 115. Yeah, I'll just write that and see where it goes. So, let me check something real quick. Sorry, I gotta eat my noodles and drink my milk because it is spicy. So, a little bit about me. I'd like to learn about you guys as well. I started writing when I was like, well, not really writing because it's not really writing. I mean, anything is writing. I started writing when I was like 10 years old, I think. I think I was maybe in like the third grade or something. That's if I was even that age at third grade. And I remember having this journal where it's like it's this journal in front of me. It's a small composition notebook, and I'm just writing page after page of just small stories, right? And I used to thought that a chapter was one page, which is hilarious because that is not one page. But then I got into it. I started like, I started writing a little bit more. Started writing a little bit more seriously, and it's like, yeah, now I can actually get into it. So a lot of the first books I wrote were like fan fictions of like my favorite hobbies, like Star Wars, like Halo, and just like fictional stories of my life, as I'm growing up, and I still didn't know like what writing really meant. And then obviously I took English class, I took creative writing classes, I read books because in order to be a good writer you have to be a good reader. Like that people will argue like that's not the case. It kind of is, because yeah, you can start off with writing with however you want. That's fine, right? But to really understand how books are meant to be written and how they're written, you have to read, like not even like popular authors, just read like, just books that pertain to your topic, right? So if I'm writing like say like spy thriller stuff, right? I'm gonna write. I'm gonna read something that's like from Tom Clancy or like Alex Rider. Alex Rider's a pretty underrated series. I loved the show when it first came out. I loved it, and a lot of it just came down to my imagination and just writing over time and of course reading books. Ironically, I hated reading books. I hated it. I could not, like, it was so different from just physically sitting down and then, like, just flipping a page in your book. But now, all of a sudden, after, growing up, and I just realized, yeah, it's pretty important. I love reading from time to time. I love reading it. I'm reading a lot of, rom-com books. I'm reading a lot of action, adventure stuff. I hate to say, I really hate to say, but I'm reading smut. Unfortunately, it's just a trend. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like it's just a trend. I first saw the book Icebreakers by Hannah. I actually have a book here somewhere in my closet. Shit. Read my nose real quick and I'll show you. One of the first books I bought. Sorry, hold on. The soup's going cold. Hold on. First books I bought. Icebreakers. And it is hilariously dumb. I'm not going to lie. So, last time I wrote a story when I was 12 and I can't write anything after that to save my life. Dude, like just... all you have to do is get a notepad and just write what's on your mind. That's quite literally it. Like it, it's a love-hate process with writing, because it's like one day you're on a roll, you're writing the heck out of your lives, and it's like, oh crap, now I can actually do something, and then all of a sudden you're just having a writer's block. You're like, what do I do, right? But yeah, Icebreakers. This book, the only reason why it's popular is because of the sex scenes that are in this book. And it's not even, and I'll read you the plot. So it's about these two athletes, right? Anastasia Allen has worked her entire life for a shot at Team USA, and she's basically like a ice skater, right? Ice skater. And then there's this guy named Nate Hawkins, who's the captain of the local hockey team. And all of a sudden, for some reason, which I forget, their what do you call it? Ice rink. Sorry, their ice rink. It's just destroyed. And they're like, okay, well, we gotta share an ice rink together, and then that's how they meet. And these two characters, they get into like a hate relationship or some sort, and then they like figure out each other's personalities, hobbies, and whatnot. They just keep seeing each other in school. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but when it comes to romantic comedies, like you can figure out like what's gonna happen at the end. But what a lot of people don't know is the characters themselves. So like I'll read the book for the plot, right? I'll do that. And sometimes the plot's bad. I did not really enjoy the plot of this book. I really didn't, because the author didn't follow through with a lot of the stuff that was on it. For example, like it used to be like about them just like figuring out how to like play on the rink, right, together. But now it's just them. It goes out of the window. They're in an Uber, and then the scenes like it's like it's smut. And yeah, it is a thick book. It really is. I mean, I've seen thicker ones, like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. That's like 900 pages. The average novel, when people first write, it's like no more than, I think, 100,000 words, maybe even less. If your first book is going to be 900 pages, 9 times out of 10, it won't be popular unless you have already published smaller books, right? It's kind of like you want to write something really you want to write the next Star Wars movie, right? But then you yourself as the director, you're like, you have no experience in it. Kind of like that way. But anyway, and one of the things that pissed me off about this book was the fact that the author didn't recognize the difference between Thai food and Vietnamese food. There's a scene in this book where she gets it wrong. Again, by the way, the book's called Icebreakers by Hannah Grace. It released back in like a couple years, I think maybe a year and a half ago. And she's already written 2 other books called Wildfire and something else. There's 3 books set in the same universe. If you want to read it, go ahead. I personally don't recommend it because the plot's just not there. But anyway, yeah, there's a scene in the book where Anastasia, right? She's making Thai food, and Thai food's just like pad Thai, right? It's a lot of it's just pad Thai, but then in the book, it says that she's making Vietnamese food, but Vietnamese food does not have pad Thai. Vietnamese food is this. It's ramen, not pad Thai. Pad Thai is thick. It's like really thick noodles. It's like flat. This is not flat. This is Vietnamese food. Well, Chinese food if you want to call it, because it's the same thing, but it's really not. But yeah, you can't, like, when I read that scene, I immediately, like, I kid you not, I closed it and I just tossed it. I was like, how do you do that? How do you screw up a culture like that? Like, maybe it's just naivety, maybe it's just ignorance. I don't know. So then I bought the second book, Wildfire. I still haven't finished it. One, because reading is also a hassle, as much as writing. But so anyway, enough of this. Icebreakers by Hannah Grace. It's meant for TikTok. It's really what it is. If you are a person that loves to read romance books, then sure, go ahead and read it. But the plot, there's just so many places where this book does not follow through. Like, I honestly thought it was just about these 2 individuals where they're trying to fix, like, you know, the ice rink together or whatnot, trying to find a way to coexist, but they and the ending was rushed. I can't even tell you. The ending was rushed. It really was. Hey man, Thai. Look, I'm telling you, I love Thai food. I really do. I'm Vietnamese by blood. And I was born in the States. So I think that's called like a 3rd generation Asian or something. I'm not too sure. But, you know, my parents were immigrants, so So, enough of sharing this. So let's actually do some stuff. Let's see. I actually don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at this, let you guys see this, but it honestly doesn't really track. But anyway, I will show you a lot of the stuff that I have done. I'm also in Daily Destinary's Discord, so, which you can join for free. It's a clip that I pinged myself in. So, let's talk story stuff, right? And a lot of it I saved here on my desktop. So, right here. This folder, Project Castor, is quite literally my life and blood. It quite literally is. Without this thing, I'm cooked. Like, I'm absolutely cooked. And right here, Agent 115, I have 6 chapters written. Well, 5 chapters written complete, but the 6th one I have not yet to do yet anyway. Well, it's in production somewhere. So, when it comes to table of contents, So how I plan my books, right, is a lot of it. I don't do the traditional like you draw like a graph of some sort, and then you just write at the beginning, hey, this is what happens. You have your exposition, you have your rising action, conflict, climax, X, Y, and Z, right? I don't usually do that. Instead, what I do is I base my books around like the format of a TV series, right? And this is my table of contents right here. So there are spoilers on chapter from 7 to 12. But anyway, also if you guys subscribe to my Patreon, you will get early access to this book. Documents of this book, and I'll just release it early as I'm writing it, and you guys can tell me what y'all want with it or how you guys like it. I am looking for beta readers though. It's just a matter of like one, who's willing to read it, how much they are willing, how much I'm willing, like they're asking for, like paying and whatnot. Because beta readers, you can't just tell them to read it for free. Because actually, I think you might. I don't know. Depends on who it is. But anyway, so the synopsis, I changed this synopsis like 30 freaking different times because I just couldn't figure out like how to make this work. So it says here, orphaned at 20 years old, which is false. Daniel lost his parents at like age 15, 16, I think. So this is wrong. Let me just change it right now. 15? Whatever. Life seems dull and meaningless without his parents, who were killed in a tragic accident. Daniel Duong still attends elite university, was finishing his senior year. To most of his school friends, Daniel is still a student like any normal kid. But Daniel has a secret a few know about. Daniel is part of the Mass City Counterterrorism Unit, a specialized unit where his colleagues are also college students trained in certain specializations. 5 months after his parents' death, Daniel is known as Agent 115. Actually, that's also false. That is a couple of years, I think. Daniel is known as Agent 115, trying to operate in hostile urban environments, and sworn to keep his alter ego a secret. Daniel is seemingly piecing together his old life into a new one. But when an assignment to investigate a student-run activist group that is allegedly involved in criminal activities, Daniel's efforts to conceal his job become strained. As he begins to unravel a conspiracy that threatens to hurt those close to him and himself. Super Kit Conrad, hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. How are you guys doing? Thank you, Cyber. I like to think it's really unorthodox, but yeah, hey, new people, welcome to the stream. My name is Elite, otherwise known as Daniel. We're just chilling and chatting. I don't know how many of you guys are writers. I like you can be an amateur or professional at this. It doesn't really matter. But how I write is I write it like a TV series. So in TV, you have what's called the A plot, B plot, and C plot, right? Which also, disclaimer, by the way, this is outdated as hell. The contents is not. The synopsis and the plot are outdated. I have not yet reworked them yet. But since we're here, we'll do it right now. Why not? So A plot, which is your main story plot, right? Like, what is the overall plot of the story? That's your A plot. Agents try to understand the True Eagle's motive against the school. So a little bit of backstory, right? All right. My voice is low. Let me just do it right about here. How does that sound? Yeah. Also, my mic, it's like 2 feet away from me, and I don't have the little. So I actually don't record in a small booth. I really don't. Unlike how a lot of professionals do. All they have, it's like it's this thing actually. If you guys are ASMR artists, buy this. Like, if you don't have a booth, buy this. It's literally just a foam box that you just put over your mic, and it just dampens all sound around it, with the exception of the top. But of course, you can just put like. But yeah, sorry. I wish you'd said something sooner. One reason why it was probably low, it was like at negative 10 decibels. I'm looking at my OBS and I'm just like, yeah, it's in the green. I don't want it in the orange, and I want it in the red. I want it in the green. But let me see if I can just go all the way up. Maybe one. Okay, negative 1 decibel. See how that works. Okay, so thank you for telling me that. I'm a little bit rusty at streaming, so I'm sorry. So, when it comes to the story, when the A plot is, hey, agents are trying to figure out the True Eagles, right? So, bit of background story. The True Eagles. Yeah, I did mention that in this series. I might have mentioned it last season. Might have mentioned it. Don't forget to rest. Says Sue me. I butchered that. I'm so sorry. Like so may or so me. Yeah. Yeah. So funny enough, I slept at 2 a.m. last night, and then I had set an alarm for 8 o'clock, and I was just crushed. I was like, oh, dude, Army loves to wake me up at the worst times ever. The earliest I've woken up was like 3 o'clock. It's rough. I'll talk about that later, a little bit. So yeah, True Eagles. I might have mentioned that in season 1 of the ASMR series. What it is that this school, right, the college, elite university, because I am uncreative as heck, right? Noodles, hold on. And the college principal, I think IRL it's the president, but it's college principal. He sets all these like actually, hold on, sorry, this is bothering me. 1 second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up some no copyright music for us to listen to, because why not? Sorry, hold on, I'm all over the place, guys. No copyright music. What? Oh no, wait a minute, lo-fi. Hold on, lo-fi. We got it. Hold on, lo-fi. Beats to relax studies. Yeah, let's do this. Lo-fi girl. If you guys don't know lo-fi, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, now, I don't listen to lo-fi when I study. I really should, in all honesty. I listen to a lot of house music. But, yeah, sorry, this is just bothering me. The fact that I'm just not, like, I'm not seeing any desktop audio, and you guys are just talking to me. Like, I'm gonna put some music on. Yeah. Can you guys hear it? I should be able to. It's showing green. Don't push yourself too hard. We'll always wait for your work. Thank you. Yeah. I try my best to do 1, 2 if I'm lucky. 1 ASMR a week. I try every Saturday, maybe Sunday depending on the time frame. But yeah. So back to this. All right. So when it comes to the college. This college principal, he sets a lot of heinous rules, like really bad rules. Like, for example, in a normal school, right, if you fail a test, you have to retake it. That's just about as many punishments you can get, right? If you're disrupting class, if you're punching someone, right, you got into a fight, you probably get detention, right? But here in elite university, if you fail a test, you get kicked out of the class, and at worst you get expelled. And if you get into a fight, you're also expelled. Like, imagine all the stuff that you did wrong in school, except the punishment is like 10 times higher. If you're late to class, you get 3-day suspension in detention. Suspension. And this principal, he's just like a jackass. He's an asshole. Like he hates his students. All he wants is just to put him through misery, right? Like it's in a very authoritative state, which resembles a lot of countries today where their politicians are just authoritative, So yeah, he's just horrible. Now, how is Daniel like affected by this? Well, he isn't. At least back when he was like a freshman in this college. So I'll get to that, right? So in the B plot, Carter's goal of bridging the divide between student and teacher. I think Carter was first featured in season 1, and Carter Gill, he's actually a friend of mine IRL, so I just use his name. He doesn't know that yet. So he is the student president of this college, right? And his goal is to bridge the divide between student and teacher, because right now they hate each other. Because if the principal says one thing, right, the teachers are bound to follow. And usually the students, they disagree with everyone. Like, I can remember a time when I didn't like my teachers at all. But I was a good, I like to think I was a good student. I did all my homework, right? I kind of like just kept myself in the background, and just, ask questions when I needed to. But here, these teachers, they're everywhere. They're constantly on patrol, making sure the students are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and anyone that's not doing what they're doing, right, they get punished for it. So that's his goal. Now, the interesting thing about Carter is that he has not made any headway. He's just a guy who quite literally doesn't have any power because no one wants to listen to him. But he's surrounded by a group of friends like Daniel is, and that they're always pushing him to, hey, keep on doing this, keep trying. And he's trying, but unfortunately with politicians, sometimes you have to be a little bit dishonest in order to do what you need to do. Now, the C plot. This originally was for the high school version of this book. The attacks from Kaga against Daniel, because, Kaga is now Rose Hayfield. So I retconned Kaga into Rose Hayfield. So let me just change that real quick. By the way, this isn't really reflective of the current plots in the story. This is what I was thinking when I first wrote it. A lot of the stuff I retconned a lot just for mix. Let me turn up the music even more. So, alright. Originally, the story was like, it took a really dark turn at the beginning. And a lot of the themes that this book addresses, it reflects real life, in certain areas. I did release chapters of this book through like websites such as Royal Road, where you can just upload like your own fiction stories, right? Your own fiction stories, and it had to get reviewed by a human moderator. So then I'm like, okay, so what do I do with it? So I upload the first chapter of this book, right, to Royal Road, and it got denied initially. It got denied. And I look at the reasons why it could have got denied was because of the political, because it has mentions of politics, activism, and whatnot. But then I literally opened the ticket on the same minute, saying, "Hey, this does not represent anything, right? Like any real life parties. It doesn't." And then I had to explain to the guy that was moderating my book that, yeah, man, like the principal, he doesn't really reflect anyone IRL, right? He's just a guy that's just a bad leader, right? And it was like, all right, man, I'll just do it. So it's up there somewhere. I just need to go check on that. But yeah, that's the one thing that I hate when I'm writing this book, is that when I'm submitting it to websites just for people to read, like it always gets denied because of the political, elements that are in this book. That's white. My bad. Sorry. So yeah, wait, I don't have this up. My bad. So yeah, but yeah, again, back to the C plot. It got really dark because one of the themes that I addressed was sexual harassment. Sexual assault, rape allegations and whatnot. And when I first wrote that part of the story, I was like, that didn't make it doesn't make sense to have this plot, because Rose used to be under Daniel. So Daniel in his school setting, right? He was a journalist, which I mentioned in today's episode. He was a journalist for the Talent, which is a, I don't know how many of you guys have high schools where you have like your own journalism class. You have your own newspaper, local high school newspaper. And the Talent was the high school newspaper, and he wrote for him. He was like the lead journalist, the top journalist for like 3 years, until, right, Rose Hayfield, right, took an article that Daniel was writing and leaked it to the administration. And he got screwed up for it. He got fired. He was like, all right, man, you're no longer working for the Talent. And that was just about the only punishment he got. And ever since then, he's been left alone. And the only reason why he's been left alone, despite the, the bad stuff that's going on from the principal, like, it's because it's him. People know him, so if they screw with him, They know that like he's gonna do something. It's kind of like that popular kid from school that you know is just like that you know if you screw with like some bad stuff is gonna happen or good stuff. But yeah, this so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna take out that part of the story. So I just removed the whole sexual allegations, harassment, all that stuff. I just removed it because not because it wasn't politically correct. I just thought it didn't match with the story with what I was writing. So instead, now Rose used to be Daniel's apprentice. She used to be a journalist that worked for Daniel, and Daniel was teaching her all this stuff about writing and journalism. And then all of a sudden, ever since Rose betrayed him, he was like, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. He just lost all taste for writing. That's why he doesn't want to write anymore, at least professionally, because of what happened. And then now with this, the sad thing is that Rose, she's now the lead journalist, and she's dating Cassus, his local bully. What am I doing, right? Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. So yeah, there are a lot of characters in this story, and a question that I'm probably gonna get, shit, I might have been asked this a while ago, was, this is based off of my real life. Yes and no, it really isn't. So, why do I write? It's because I want to get lost in my own stories. Think about it, right? The world that we live in, really dangerous. It's full of drama, full of like just bad stuff happening. Ironically, this story is a lot worse because of the setting, because of the school. Why would I want to go to a university, right, where if I'm late to class, I get detention for 3 days? Why would I want to do that? But then I realized that I wrote a character that I tried to separate from me as much as I could, because I used my name on this book. And then I'm like, okay, so how do I separate this character Daniel from me? Well, just give him the stuff that I always wanted, but I know I can't get, right? I know I can't be a secret agent. I, ironically, can't get a girlfriend, yet. And God forbid, I have parents, I have my parents still, God bless, right? But here in the story that I don't, right? So that's how I write characters, is I take people that I know IRL, and I just use their personality, and I just give them the opposite of what they usually are, right? Or I write something similar to them, or I give them attributes that their IRL counterparts don't have or want to have. That's how I write characters. I write the opposite, or give them the missing pieces. For me and Dale, for particular, right, it's a double-edged sword. So now, chapter 1, the agent. So I'll take you guys through the first chapter of Agent 115. You guys get you a little bit of a sneak peek of this series. So, also let me know, guys, what you guys are eating, what you guys are drinking. I need to go to Walmart and get some noodles, man. Get some noodles. Oh, and by the way, 2 things, Nalgene, one Nalgene. Reina Hunter right here. Reina Hunter. It was from, I used the Holara AI website, where it generates AI versions of anime, and I just downloaded her and I got through a sticker. And this right here, I think she's Alma-chan, I think. So this sticker in particular right here, I got it when I got it when I bought this. So this outfit that I'm wearing, I'll just walk you through it, right? I literally got dressed up for this. I really did. Like and I'm wearing freaking like sleep sandals, which is hilarious. This is the AEM-01 summer edition hoodie, tactical hoodie, and you have these little small pockets for patches and just put stuff in it like a tourniquet. And then what the interesting part about this is that it has vents at the shoulders, so if you're sweating, all that bad air, it just goes out. So it's very lightweight, it's very thin, and it holds up really well. I love the material. You never feel constricted, and you also have a little hood that you can just put over. And I bought it, and I'll put the link of the shirt of what I'm wearing. I'll put the link of what I'm wearing in the description below after this stream is done. And I was like, all right, I'll buy it. I bought it for like $140 when it first released, like last year. The problem was that when I bought it, it didn't come for like 4 months because the manufacturer was out of the material that they needed. Yeah. That's, I think this is Alma-chan. I'm not too sure. It's one of the Mikami is the creator. Mikami is his original characters. This, I have no idea who this is. I bought this at the mall. This is pretty inappropriate, but yeah. And then here's another version of someone else from Mikami as well. And then here you go. I bought this sticker from the mall. Like, me and my friend, we just went to the mall and just bought them. I get made fun of pretty a lot, but whatever. Yeah, I do a lot of airsofting. Which is why I have this. I do a lot of tactical shooting with actual guns, airsoft. I do that a lot. And I personally like it. So, back to the book. So this first chapter is 31 pages. If you look at the bottom left here, 31 pages, 9,307 words. And you'll notice that on the second page, I've written it like a TV show. Because that's what I do. I love to write my books based off like a TV show thing. Just how I format it. And it's set in October 3rd, 2024 of this year. So, if I can write my ass off in the next month, this book will be out. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Now, do I intend on releasing it? Do I intend on writing, what do you call it? Do I change the timeline if I'm writing in 2025? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. Again, I got to stick with the story. And I wanted to be, a little cool. Like, all right, it's October 3rd. Let me release it on October 3rd. But unfortunately, when it comes to publishing and editing, it's a whole process. It takes months. I did consider self-publishing on Amazon, but I realized that is a huge risk because I'm just one guy. I'm one guy. I don't have an editor. I'm my own editor. I use Grammarly, but Grammarly sometimes gives me edits that don't make sense. Like, it'll give me, like, the wrong verbs for some reason, even though I'm using the right verb. And editing's just expensive. Like, it really is. I heard it can go up to the hundreds for, like, a word. So, yeah. October 3rd, Elite City. Elite City, because I am unoriginal as hell. It's just like... So, if you look at the map right here. So, this is where it actually takes place. On the pull up a map. Also, guys, I am in Colorado. Just letting you all know. What emoji is that? What is that? Right. Well, anyway, I live in Colorado. My GPS is nowhere. But I lived here. Manassas. This is where I was born and raised, people. Manassas. I'm not going to show you my house because I don't know if you guys are stalkers. But anyway, right? So Manassas is where the story, where a lot of the story takes place. But the city, Elite City, picture like this, right? Elite City. From Manassas, I'd say maybe to DC. Imagine if like, actually no, I'm sorry. Yeah, somewhere around DC. So originally, Elite City, it used to span from Manassas to Norfolk. Norfolk is a major naval base in Virginia that is here. So imagine Elite City, right? It was one big city, but from Manassas to Norfolk. That's more than that's a more $1 trillion city. But then you have to get rid of all of this land too, just to build it. It's YouTube's. I figured. I gotta make my own. What do you call it? Stickers. Yeah, I gotta make my own stickers. I gotta find an artist. I gotta commission an artist and drop a couple hundred. Or make my own. I could just make my own, really. I guess I could. Well, anyway, yeah. So Elite City. You guys also seen it too. You guys just didn't know it. Sorry, I just went back to the main folder. So, Elite City. It's this. This is Elite City, or at least a picture of it, anyways. This is from Skylines 2, which I have. I use it for screenshots, wallpapers, and I just gain inspiration from it. Granted, it's not a one-to-one representation of the actual how I actually pictured it in the city. But right now I just retconned it to where if it's in Manassas, and it spans from like it goes up north here, and then it just stretches out to Washington. Dulles International. You guys ever flew there? That's staying there. But like this picture, like all of this, it just wasn't here. All of this, it wasn't here, and it's just one big city, right? And in this version of Manassas, it's actually a really great city. It's crowded, but it's great. It's actually dying. It's losing services. It's losing people, all because of Elite City. And Elite City is a huge metropolis, right? That's just overshadowing them. And it was first built, I think, in the early 1990s, and then over time, crime grew, violence grew, political unrest, services were just lacking, and all of that in one big major metropolis. Another inspiration from what I got is from Cyberpunk's 2077's Night City. So I did a lot of research on how this particular city was created, and and Elite City is kind of like Night City from Cyberpunk. It's a lot of corporations. Bronze Industry. It's one of the major corporations in the book. I just haven't mentioned it in this series yet, because I don't want to bombard you with too much information. All be in the book, but I pulled a lot of inspiration of how the city looks, of how it functions from Night City. So picture that. Yeah, picture Night City, but all the way here. In comparison, here's a map here, I think. This is Night City. Sorry, that can't be it. 2020 to 45. Yeah, Coronado Bay. That's it right here. That's Night City. It's not big compared to this much. It's a huge city. That's what I intend on doing in City Skylines, is what I tend to do. And I guess I could show it's all public anyway. The Manassas City Counterterrorism Unit, right? The organization that Daniel and the others worked for, right? It started back up in 2017, and it's actually located. Where is it? Oh, that's the church I go to. It's located. Where is it? Here. Let me just turn on. Yep. Prince William County Judicial Center, right? So the headquarters is literally here. This is the Monastic Counterterrorism headquarters. And the story in the book, what happened is that this judicial center shut down. It shut down, and Saul Eckert, he bought the building out, and he made it his own. In chapter 1, you'll notice that the description of the unit, it's actually mentioned here. So let me see. Let me eat my noodles while I'm scrolling through it. Yep, see here, look at it. Elite city sprawled north of Centerville, past IAD, and then to the Potomac River, near to the east, close to DC. I need to rewrite that. That doesn't sound right. Where is it? Okay. The outside of the court building was perfect for the wandering public. The official story was that the city had moved the court's operations further north up Elite City, but inside it wasn't anything like the old court building at all. The floor was waxed and shiny with the unit's logo, a raven with blue and silver wings, painted in the shape of a circle in the center of the lobby. Where's the parking lot? But right across from the lot was a large L-shaped building. This is an L-shaped building. I just wrote it like that. And then around the perimeter, it's just trees. I just wrote that there was just trees around it, so that way no one knows, like, where it is. And that way no one is just, like, you know, looking into the thing and whatnot. But, yeah. But that's Prince William. And that's where the book is set. Now, Elite University, where is that in the city? I have not figured that out yet. I have not. All I just know is that Elite City is just it's just huge. It goes from here to DC. I have not figured out where that goes yet. So, yeah, it's a pretty well placed, man. So back to episode 1. So this is 31 pages. It just goes over, like, the introduction of the agents. Oh, I need to space that. Bad. The first 3 chapters of your book are meant to hook in the readers. If anything, it's the first few pages. First few pages, because you can't get your viewers hooked in the first few pages. You're gonna put down the book. Your synopsis also counts too. That's also great. But it's traditionally 3 chapters, and if you have to be able to condense your story, right? Your conflict, your rising action into those 3 chapters, right? Use it for introductory purposes and whatnot. Sprinkle information as we go. Because in the first chapter, a lot of information is, like, just dropped, but it's slow, it's methodical, right? And the characters, right? The characters are a huge part of the story too. I think there's, like, maybe more than a dozen named characters in this book. The problem is that I've read that the more characters that you put in a story, the more, like, you're just gonna, like, overflow the reader with information. But that's why you follow the TV series plot, is where, okay, you have your main set of characters. You have your, sorry, but I can't stay here for long, but I have to go soon, but fighting. Sumi, thank you so much for joining the stream. You have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope to see you again soon. So yeah, the book, the more characters you put, the more you have to keep track of it. And in addition, right, you also have to, what do you call it? Not really necessarily sprinkle information, but, like, Davish and Quintus, for example, right? Do you really need to tell this story or tell the readers who they are down to, like, to a T? No, not necessarily. They're supporting characters. They're, you know, you can just sprinkle bits of, like, what their hobbies are like, where they're from. You can do that, but, like, if you want to do a deep dive into the characters, you may as well do a whole chapter dedicated to them. but that's not how this story is structured. And plus, like, as you sprinkle information along, your reader has to remember it, right? And that's where the origin stories comes from. Is that's those support the main stories. Yeah, that's chapter 1. I do intend on releasing chapter 1 somewhere. It honestly might go on my Patreon for you guys to go ahead and take a look. I'll probably just make the excerpt free and then put the rest behind a paywall. Or actually, I'm just put the whole chapter free, in all honesty. I may as well. But yeah. So, let me see. Yep, chapter 1, bomb explodes in Lead City. Pumped members of the secret Manassas City counters me to take action. So I rewrote the opening scene for this book. I rewrote it, and it was kind of hilarious when I first looked at it. The opening scene, it's a bunch of quotes of like news articles, like just news outlets saying, hey, you know, this is happening, because when an emergency happens, like your news outlet just cuts and it just says it's all the reporters going out, right? And then the opening scene, I literally wrote it like this, right? It was 4 individuals standing on top of a skyscraper with a helicopter behind them, and they're just overlooking the city. How many of y'all have watched Batman or Spider-Man and they're just overlooking the city, right? It's kind of it was like this. Yeah, it was like this, essentially. Skywalking, know what I mean? Yeah. Like, picture Batman, right? Overlooking Gotham. Except it's the agents doing that, right? Picture that. Picture this. The opening scene was that. And I was like, alright, does it really make sense that they're on a rooftop and then a bomb goes off like a mile down the road and they have to get in a helicopter and go down? Or if they're not in a helicopter, they have to take the elevator? Like, does that really make sense? Unless these guys can fly, I didn't see a point in doing that, so I didn't really do that. That was the opening scene, but I just did it where they were in a vehicle already. Like, the fire had spread next to the apartment building. Firefighters had held their ground on the street, pointing their hose against the raging fire. Hoses, and then ropes. Yeah, they were actually in a Blackhawk. A Blackhawk hovered just over the rooftop. Ropes were thrown down to the ground, and what appeared from the ground were 4 figures being engulfed in smoke, feet first into hell. You guys play Halo? You guys Google Skibby Toilet? No, I don't think I will, man. But yeah, that was the opening scene. Brain rot, man. Brain rot. But actually, what I can do is I can go in game, play some City Skylines for you guys, and just show you what I'm working on, this little side project. City Skylines, it's a pretty... I loved the first game. I absolutely loved it. The second game, it takes a lot. It removed a lot of features from the first game. It really did. In terms of modding, I think the modding community just didn't bring this game back. But City Skylines 2, I love this game a lot. It has its problems, but I bought it because I'm a fan. I really hope this isn't... Dude, I know way too many deans, man. I know way too many deans. I know a dean from a server that I play in, but anyway, yep. So this is what I call Northern Virginia. And it's huge, at least in perspective, right? So this section right here isn't Elite City, right? this will be. So I'm currently working on ways to connect this city to this one. This is going to be a big metropolis. Obviously, the setting, like the terrain and the topography, it's not Northern Virginia. It's all fictional. If anything, what's really making it a lead city is what I put in it. But yeah, it's got a main highway system that goes from like all the way here, all the way back. It's just one huge highway. And this is a city by itself, which I call Ravenhill South. It's connected here. And then there are two ways to get into this part of the city. It's through this exit, it's through this exit, through this exit. Nah, that's two, that's three ways. And that's it, actually. Believe it or not. That is actually it. So then what I have to do is I have to make another entry into here. There's a fourth. You can go here. So that's a fourth. But yeah, so that's elite. This is gonna be Elite City. Like from here to here, it's just gonna be Elite City as a whole with its own districts. And this traffic is just having nightmares. I don't know who designed this road. That's a pretty dumb. This will be a roundabout. But I don't have the tile purchase, so I'm not gonna screw with it. And plus, it's not really hurting anything other than maybe like industrial transport. But I got 42,000, 42,000, a million. My budget though is crazy. It's like for roads, 500,000, and then electricity, 500,000 too. And then you got healthcare, which is about 450. Garbage. Oh my god, garbage was bad when I first opened up this game, man. Like it was bad. Now this recycling center it's just keeping them alive, really. So yeah. This is gonna be Elite City. I have a couple of high schools here. Elite University. I think it's just gonna be somewhere around like the store where it takes place. Elite City, right here, right here. And then I'll probably like make a replica of Manassas somewhere around in the center, like somewhere around here. Use this open field, but I suck at terraining, by the way. I just suck at it, so that's why I'm not gonna do anything to it. Also, my back hurts. I had like a 45-pound ruck, and it was bad. So yeah. Also have Armor 3. That's where also Armor 3 is where a lot of my screenshots took place. Like I downloaded a bunch of animation mods and just did that. Ready or not, Siege is it's a nightmare for me, man. It's a nightmare. I love Siege and hate it at the same time. I've been playing it for 5 years. Let's actually get rid of some of the stuff, some of the demand. I wanted to do that. By the way, optimization for this game is horrible. Like I'll have this game on low graphics and it still loses frames. Next live stream, I'll probably just hang out, do a bit of city building for a couple hours, and then play some Siege. Oh, this guy, he didn't understand what I was saying. Sorry, this is a completely different thing. I will explain that in a different live stream. Do that. Alright, so we've got a big problem. Traffic. But I don't care. Because traffic happens in every metropolis. So what we're going to do, in order to fix that, put more residential somewhere. Let's see. I already have residential here. I already have that. My beach is here. This train system is what I need to get working on. So what I'm going to do is probably save that for later. Maybe add more of this here. Nope. I want that road. Oh. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Now the problem is, there's a highway sticking out here, so... Oh! You know what I could do? You know what I could do? Make an exit here, because that's getting jammed up. So let me make another exit. Now, the problem I have with these intersections is that they're just way too big. They're huge. Like you have no space for them. Let me close that out. Close this out. Oh, save. Close that out. Hey, let me know if y'all have any questions about whatever, man, and I'll be able to answer them for you. Those who have just joined the stream, welcome. Alright. This is also what I hate about intersection building, because you have to make it to scale so that it works. Like, for example, like you have to make this. I have to make this 4. Got a 4 lane, and then add a. Actually, can I just make that 4 lanes? Can I do that? Oh, what do you know? That works. Yeah, dude, it's a pretty complex game. You really can't just place crap down and then just hope it happens. You gotta like really, you gotta tear some stuff down, man. Shit, I can't even see, man. It's dark. Slope too steep. Oh, I know what I need to do. Set this. We got it. We got it. I think we got it, guys. So that's 1. And then just make another. Make another there. Yep. Yep. And then you just make another here. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks okay. I mean, it works. So you got 1 there, you got 1 going there. Let me make this a highway. See what that works. See how does that go? Okay. Let's see. Alright, and I have this mod called Link Connector Tool, where you can just... Because sometimes these lanes, they don't function right, so you gotta, like, physically connect them. Like this one, for example, like, this one's just grayed out. That's a problem! I need to fix that. So... Yep. So, because there's only so many ways you can get in the city, I'll explain it for you. Like, what I ended up doing was I just created an intersection, so that way the AI has more places to go. That way this isn't bunched up. Because all these cars, they're all trying to get to here. Right? Either they live here, or they work there, or they want to visit. Right? Now you just have another intersection that goes into the same place. So eventually, theoretically, this should cover it up. It should. If not, then we're cooked. But we'll see what happens. Ugh. Okay. Why is that screwed up? I'll fix it later. That's gonna be a problem soon. Huh. These people are still going here. Oh, they're all filling up the parking lot that was supposed to be used for the train, but nothing's at the train. What do you know? That's hilarious. And then let me add some more residential, right? Because why not? Make that a building. Make this a building. Make that a building. Low rent housing. Make that apartments. Maybe not. Probably should have added a park here, but it's fine. Now, the shitty part about this game is that if it crashes on you, 9 times out of 10, the save will get corrupted. And you can't play it anymore. Which sucks. Alright. Once I have all this offices cleared up, we'll stop playing this game. Oh! So, funny enough, it did clear up. Except now the traffic is going into here. So what I usually do to clear some of that stuff up... is I just add a small little road. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly feel how you feel. I would watch other people play. Just to see how they work. See what they do. I have to get rid of this, though. Yep, that's how you fix these problems, is just you add another turn lane, and then you just you gotta do is you gotta cut this intersection off. So remove it safe. Have it to where it's just a turn right. Move that. Okay. Now you have this main intersection, which you want to get rid of the turn rights. I think that's it for now. See how this works. And then this intersection right here. Make sure that's... Yep. Yep, that's traffic. I don't know why. So, yeah, let me just remove these walk lanes. Because we don't really need that. Don't need this, don't need that, don't need that. You don't need that. Don't need that. Yep! Lane's good to go for now. That's about it. Just save. Alright, now here comes what it is, right? The saving part. Hopefully, yep, it saves. And now, hopefully it saves the cloud automatically. That's it. That's Elite City. Or about to be at least. So before we end it off with today, I just want to go over a couple more things. Reina Hunter, my favorite character of this whole series, whole story. So who is Reina Hunter? Why do these things exist, right? Think about it for a second. Why do these things exist? Why do we exist? Why does the story exist? And as I said it from the beginning, it's because, right, that I want to build a world where I want to escape in. Think about that, right? We all want to escape into a world where it's just, you know, it's just us, our biggest fantasies are, it's our biggest fantasies, it's our greatest adventures, our greatest moments. We have friends that we can always rely on. And don't get me wrong, in real life, you can have that. Definitely can have that. But in the story, right, anything can happen. You're the author of your own story, right? So, Agent 115, it's meant to replicate, well, not really replicate, again, it's supposed to represent what I want. Personally, me as an author, right? As an author, I have written just so many books that I wish I could just be lost in, because the goal of books, right? Wow, that is a bad indent. No, it's not. Well, anyway, the goal of these books, it's to make you feel like you want to be these characters, right? I want someone to be like, hey, I want to be Daniel. I want to be Reina because of their personalities and attributes, right? Because of that. And I don't have a girlfriend, at least not yet, right? And it's kind of cynical when I say this, but like, we all have our versions of what we want as a perfect girlfriend, right? There's no such thing as a perfect girlfriend. People will be flawed, right? With Reina, that's the case, right? On the outside, right, Daniel and Reina share the most perfect relationship ever. But as the story progresses, which I'm sure if y'all have seen in this series, is that she's very protective. She's very overprotective. And she has like this obsession of protecting Daniel. A lot of that is because of her past traumas as a child. So her origin story, right? It takes place in Savannah, Georgia. That's where she's from. She's from Savannah, Georgia, and she is, she doesn't have any parents. Well, I think she does, but she doesn't talk to them anymore. And she was on the streets. She was on the streets, just stealing, scrapping away. Street rat. That's who she is as a child. And then now she's now a chief medical specialist for one of the most secret organizations in the country, right? And then Daniel sees he only sees one of his flaws, right? Is the nurse in her. He only sees like the good in her. And yeah, they talked about each other's past, but he doesn't see that because he doesn't judge based on people's past. But unfortunately, right, with Reina, some of her tendencies are coming back in certain moments. Like, she doesn't like to fight, but she punched Cassus in today's episode, right? And then when her hand was shaking, she was like, "Oh my god! Like, what did I just do?" Like, she starts panicking. Her hands are shaking. She starts projecting on Daniel, for one additional reason, right? She starts projecting her anger at Daniel. So you guys are really rude in a way because I got bullied. You guys are telling me not to fight. Why? Why are you telling me not to fight? I gotta defend myself, right? But no, you guys were like, no, I want to protect you. I can protect myself. That's the dynamic between Daniel and Reina. Now, of course, they're a very happy couple. They're very happy. Right? But it's not without flaws like any other relationship. What Daniel sees in Reina, right, isn't necessarily what I want to see in a woman. I mean, ish. Like, sure, if she's crazy for me, it's a win-win. Win-win, right? But she's really obsessive with protection, with caring for others. Like, it's a really dark obsession. And a lot of it comes from her past traumas because she didn't have any parents growing up. Neither did Daniel up until like age 14, age 15. And Daniel, one of the reasons why he loves her so much is because Daniel see his mother in Reina. Think about that for a second, right? So, like, there's a lot of reasons, and again, this story will explain the dynamics of relationships as it goes on. The dynamics between Henry Rake and Stella Steele, who two of which are dating, right? Daniel and his director, his boss, who he met when his parents died. Like, that's a father-son relationship. With Daniel and Reina, yes, it's boyfriend and girlfriend, right? But you guys are my mom. You play as my mom. And I don't know, maybe we'll rescue you. I don't know. We'll do that. I do that a couple times from here, a couple times here and there, when not. Yeah, this story is like I'm really invested into. So like, why does this exist? Why does she exist? Right? It's all a projection of what I love to see, of what I want to feel, right? Because as an author, we write stories that are most compelling to us. All right? What is it that we want? What is it that we can have? What is it that we want that we know we can't have, right? What is it that we have that I want to take away, because when it comes to writing books, all I got to do is got to take away some things, I got to take away, I got to just like pull it away from it, we just got to give something new. Agent 1-5 does that. That's what the series is about. Now, season 1, right, season 1 might have some continuity issues, but that explored, the beginnings of their lives and whatnot. You got to see a bit of their character styles and whatnot. Granted, it will change because now we're in the college era. But how many of y'all remember this episode where it was like the third episode, caring for your secret agent boyfriend, right? Where I almost got blown up by a grenade, and when I get taken care of by Reina, first thing she does is slaps me. You guys slap me. You're like, why? It's because I was being dumb, right? There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about this story, and I honestly can't wait to tell you all, like, this is what's happening. This is what I want to share you guys, right? You got Henry here, you got Davis, you got myself, and then you got Quintus, the four characters of the story that serve as Raven team, right? Who doesn't like a badass protective girlfriend? I want one, man. One day I'll find one, and one day you will too. All right, guys, that does conclude today's stream. I appreciate and love every single one of you that have joined today. Just my debut stream. In all honesty, the streams are mostly going to be like this. I was thinking about getting like a VTuber model of some sort. I'm still considering it, but it's a lot of money. I'm thinking if I just like show them like my outfit, you know, have like a helmet of some sort. Maybe you can draw something like that. But once I have the money, I might just drop it towards that. But other than that, I appreciate you guys just coming in, chilling, and relaxing, getting to know me getting to know you guys as a person. But yeah, we'll do more like this probably every weekend. I'm hoping to get, you know, a couple more viewers, but of course, you know, one means everything to me. One means two, and two means three, and so on and so forth. And you guys mean a lot to me. You guys really do. I really appreciate the support. If you guys haven't seen episode 3 of Secret Agent Boyfriend series, go ahead and see it. It's out right now. Episode 4, it's gonna be in production pretty soon. I'm still working on the Strangers to Lovers series. That episode's also out. Go ahead and check that one out. And hopefully we can do more of this, you know? So yeah. Oh yeah, Patreon's still up. It's still there. You can go ahead and check it out on my description below. Again, I'll also leave this in the description below for you guys to look at. This is limited edition, so the creator of this material, he does it every like cycle or so. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. And maybe next time I'll probably just be in full battle rattle and just have a helmet on, a kit on. Why not do that? But yeah, again, I can't stress enough, you guys. Thank you so much for showing up to the stream. Cyberburger, thank you. Thank you, Cyberburger. Thank you, Dean. Thank you. So me, who had already left. Thank you. And then Super Kit, Kunrat. Thank you so much for telling me to get rest is important because I do need some sleep, even though it's 12 p.m. in the afternoon. But other than that, thank you guys for stopping by. My name is Elite. It's been a pleasure, and stay tuned for more ASMR content. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.